Morning, good afternoon, good evening. The Africa Development Bank has just dropped a bombshell on the ZANU-PF regime. They've revealed that Zimbabwe has got a financial gap of 3.7 billion US dollars. And without that money, it cannot meet its so-called Vision 2030. This is an economic undertaking by the Mnangagwa regime that Zimbabwe will become an upper middle income nation by the year 2030. This is an undertaking he gave very soon after he took over power in 2017 following the military coup. And this has become a mirage. And some people have even gone to the extent of saying this is a mirage by moonlight, an impossible. Welcome, Benjamin. What do you think of Vision 2030?
Good day to our viewers, and thank you for joining us. I mean, Vision 2030 is a good idea, but one that can never see the light of day without the fundamentals. Here is Africa Development Bank giving insight on the fundamentals, the absence of the fundamentals that are required for Vision 2030 to be a success or to see the light of day. I mean, 3.7 billion, that's a lot of money, and given where we are already past halfway towards the time frame that was given by Mnangagwa. It just shows that it is very impossible. Now, I mean, I just want to talk about the absence of manufacturing. Zimbabwean economy is running at a negative balance of trade. Basically, we don't have anything that we are producing except for raw materials. Raw materials being gold, basically mining sector. We know that the agricultural sector has been affected by uh, natural disasters, the El Ninos, and the droughts and everything. So that one there, we can just shelve it for now. It's a complete write-off. We are now having to import food basically for ourselves. So we are not realizing any money from that sector. So which just leaves us basically with the mining sector, which the mining sector is operating, informally. The main operations in mining are, uh, in Shona they call it Korokoza, our local language call it Korokoza, which it's hard to account for any transaction that is happening within that sector. So it is very difficult to now say you're going to base your economy, or you're going to use that as your base to attain upper middle income economy. It's impossible. Look, we have lithium. Nobody really knows what exactly is happening in terms of the mining. Who is mining it? Where are the proceeds going to? There's so many questions that are unanswered. These are some of the things that, if you want your people to understand and to work with your people, you need to be transparent about what is happening on the ground, which is not happening. And we know when it really comes to manufacturing industry in Zimbabwe it has collapsed. It collapsed long back, and unfortunately, nothing is being done to revive, that industry. As far as I can see, we have been told, for example, Zisco Steel, one of the biggest, the biggest, steel iron company in Zimbabwe is shut down, but we've been promised that it will be revived. How then do you revive an economy without reviving your industry? How do you attain upper middle income economy without an industry? Everything that Zimbabwe has is being imported, basically. So what then is we are importing more than we're actually exporting. Electricity, we are having to import so much. So our manufacturing is all but collapsed. And this is one of the key, industries that should be a driving force of the country, of the economy. It's a driving force of many countries, their industry. And we don't have that, but we have a dream. Surely that dream is just it will never see the light of day. It will never fulfill, because that day is fundamental, like I said.
Well, one of the main reason why we will never achieve Vision 2030 is mismanagement. We cannot deny that the ZANU-PF regime has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that they are corrupt, incompetent, and utterly useless. When we gained our independence in 1980, Zimbabwe was already an upper middle income nation. We had a robust economy. Our infrastructure was really good. But ever since, the country has been on a downward trend. And after the year 2000 siege of the white-owned farms, it took a nosedive. I just want to play a short clip of Margaret Thatcher talking about the problems of poor management, which is at the heart of our failed economy.
Countries are not rich in proportion to their natural resources. If they were, Russia would now be the richest country in the world. Angola would be very rich, and there are many other countries that have a lot of natural resources, but they have not had an enterprise economy to develop those resources. Russia has everything: oil, gas, diamonds, platinum, gold, silver, timber, marvelous soil, but has been poor. She's also, on the second point, got very bad environment, the Aral Sea. I remember going to one communist country in about the 60s and seeing a powder coming out of a chimney of brown gas, which of course is a nitrous gas. And I was absolutely horrified. I said, well, what are you doing letting that happen? The lungs of the people must be terrible. This is acid. You can't let that go on. Tact has never been my strong point, as you know. And it is the countries that have had the wrong system, which have not created the wealth, have not cared about people. Look at the other side. Japan, no natural resources. Switzerland, no natural resources. Taiwan, no natural resources. It is the political system which enhances the enterprise of the people and gives it a framework within which to operate, which will deal with this poverty.
So that was one of our big problems. What is one of our big problems? We have bad, corrupt, and incompetent managers.
Yes, I agree with you. And if I may add, when we talk of, our government, as a political system that is so toxic that people turn investors, let me say, will shun such an environment. Our business environment is not stable, which is caused by the political part of Zimbabwe. Business to thrive, there is need of certainty. We without people being sure of their investment, it is difficult for somebody just to put in money and not know what tomorrow is all about. you know so this year has hampered our luring investors to come and invest in Zimbabwe. So now we are stuck with bad investors because there's no competition. you know Whoever comes, we are picking. We are not doing any background check, because we are short of of people that want to invest. So we have given the Chinese. The Chinese have, we know how they are running their business. You know, Nothing is being seen as in terms of development in Zimbabwe. All we are just seeing is environmental degradation at every point and turn. You know, so that lack of a solid, good, stable political environment is also a big concern when we're talking about an upper middle income economy. We don't have investors. We don't have the right investors. We are short of choice. We take whatever is given to us. If whoever comes and wants to invest without, having to do background checks, or to choose the right partners, basically, we are forced to take whatever is dished out to us, whatever comes our way. So I think, with there are a lot of factors that need to be considered when you are talking of an upper middle income economy. There are so many factors, and every turn you try and see what positive do we have, to attain this dream. There's nothing you can see, really. So at the end of the day, it's just wishful thinking and hot air, just being blown by a regime that is absolutely clueless, that actually think that they can win an economy without any fundamentals, economic fundamentals. Quite sad.
Well, the other the other point that I should be remembered here is that we've got poor leadership, and they are so poor that we've failed to maintain the economic infrastructures that we inherited at independence. How do you expect to become an upper middle income nation when you can't even maintain what you have got? You should be building on what you inherited to improve it, to stay where you are as an upper middle income nation. But in our case, we have failed to maintain what we inherited. This is a short video of one of the main routes from Harare to Churundu. And you can see the sorry state of the road. A clear sign we failed to maintain what we even inherited, much less to build on it. As we can see there, this is a main road, one of the big main roads in Zimbabwe. If you look at the other main roads going from Masvingo to Bedbridge to Bulawayo, Bulawayo to Victoria Falls, they are all in a similar sorry state. This is a regime that has failed to maintain basic infrastructure. Our railway, all other services, they are in a sorry state. Ben was mentioning there the problem of electricity. For the 44 years after independence, Zimbabwe has not built one big power station. Last year, they installed 2 generators at Wanke. This should have been installed in the early 80s. Another big project that should have been completed a long time ago is Patoka Gorge. Still not there. How do you expect to grow the economy when you don't have power? This is the reality in Zimbabwe.
Yes, I agree with you. You know, what you are talking about, those are drivers of the economy. You're looking at the transport sector. We know, I mean, look, we have NRZ that is, I doubt if it's operating. If it is operating, you know, it is operating at a very, very low key. You know, we used to have, you know, a busy, you know, railway system, punctual, effective, you know, on time. That day just died as the years went by since independence. Slowly, a gradual death until it just collapsed. Right now, there is no, you know, no more electric locomotives that are being used because, you know, people help themselves to the copper wires, and to an extent where they store copper wires on the stations, on the NRZ stations. Surely, if somebody can go into that station and start stealing underneath their nose, you got to suspect it should be an inside job at some point. You know, electricity is gone. You were mentioning electricity as well. Electricity is gone for 18 hours on end a day. How then do you keep furnaces running? That shouldn't be cooled. I know, for example, Zisco Steel, they used to switch off their furnace once a year. Lancashire Steel, they used to switch off their furnace once a year, you know, towards Christmas, just to clean out the coke and everything out, you know. Now we don't even have a stable, you know, electricity supply. We are in shortfall. There's droughts. Kariba can no longer, you know, supply enough electricity to feed the country. You know, Wange, for example, is half down, half up every single day. They're always patching it. I heard, you know, one ZESA director say that, you know, with Wange, what we do is we fix it as we go. So every day it's a fix. It's a fix. So they patch it up as it keeps going. So it's never at 100%. It's never. So how do you attain such a vision without even drivers? You know, we can't talk of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is practically dead. You know, 20 directors, 2 planes. That doesn't make sense. Telecommunications, post-telecommunications, it died. Those are the drivers of the economy. They get, things from point A to point B, messages across. All those things are important. They should be there. They should be working full service. It's impossible. I don't know how, somebody can stand up and say, we are going to go and attain this when you don't have, those things. Not that we didn't have, we failed to maintain, like you say. All we needed was to maintain, and we failed that. So it's only a dream, and a fool's dream, if I may say, daydreaming that Vision 2030 will be a success. Impossible.
My closing remark would be: we are halfway through Mnangagwa's time. He came in 2017. For 2030, that gave him 13 years. Yeah, halfway through that 13 years. And nothing, there is absolutely no sign that things are improving. And for anyone to still think that Vision 2030 is real is being naive, to say the least. This is like going to a field, as we can see in the picture there, where you can already see that maize crop is damaged beyond repair. It has wilted to the point where if you set fire, the whole farm will burn down. That's how dry the plants have become. It doesn't matter even if you have got a heavy downpour, that maize crop will never revive. You do not have to wait for the end of the growing season to realize that you're not going to have a bumper crop. That is the number one message that I really would like to leave with Zimbabweans today. Vision 2030 is a mirage by moonlight. The economy has failed to show any signs of recovery, and we are already halfway through the 13 years that Mnangagwa promised he will get the economy going. And to still think that he can still somehow turn things around in the last 6 years, is naive, to say the least.
In conclusion, I would say, the Africa Development Bank stipulated timelines that will be affected with our, current situation. They said that, it will dampen the 2030 Vision 2030 and up to 2065, as long as we keep on this trajectory. So they may now label Africa Development Bank, as a puppet of the West. That is the excuse that they give to somebody that says anything that is against them. But this is a bank that is actually saying, the truth as it is on the ground, what they are seeing economically and fundamentally. There is absolutely no way you can achieve an upper middle income economy without the right fundamentals, without the right foundation. And Zimbabwe hasn't got any of those. The list that we have mentioned is just but a short list. Those are the main things. There is a lot of things that are upset within our economy, within Zimbabwe itself, And this is caused, the number one cause, if I may say, is the political environment. As long as we have a dictatorship in our country, there is nobody that will want to do business with us we are not a safe country to do business. Hence, now we are forced to take the jackals, to come and deal with us, and they will wipe us clean. We are selling ourselves short at the end of the day. But unfortunately, like we say, we have a dictatorship, people that are absent of reality. So they will keep on saying it is possible without. It is possible, and if you go against, you are anti-government. You're a puppet. But we have to say reality as it is. Africa Bank has said reality as it is. And I'm sure we all can see now that, it is all but a dream. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben, and to the listeners, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Have a good evening.